What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and we are back here for another pre-match fan show, and that can only mean one thing. The Premier League is back, and we face Moneybags Newcastle this weekend at St James's Park, what promises to be a very momentous day for the Newcastle fans and Newcastle as a whole. And we're going to be the ones that are going up there to try and spoil the party, really. That's really the case this weekend,
we're
isn't
going
it?
to attempt to. I think it's going to be very difficult. Obviously, Newcastle are still Newcastle, still have the same players, but I do believe that the players who maybe not like your Kieran Clarks and things, but there are players there who do have a lot of ability, who maybe been sleepwalking for a long time now. And I think this is going to be the wake-up call those kind of players have needed at Newcastle. And that's why I'm worried they're going to up their game and they're going to really come out and try and take the game to Tottenham on Sunday. And they're going to attack us. They're going to come at us. And it's not going to be easy whatsoever. We've seen what can happen this season a few times when Tottenham get outworked and outfought. We crumble. And that's what I'm worried about us doing on Sunday. We have to be up for the fight. We have to be up for the battle and make sure that we don't give Newcastle more encouragement than they already have.
Definitely. So I really want to hear your guys' opinions on everything related to the game this weekend. The link is in the community section now. It is open for everyone, not just members. So click that link in the community section. Come on and have a chat with us about the game this weekend. Just before we get to you guys out there, we're going to go through Nuno's press conference. We're going to play it for you and then give our reaction to it. And then you guys can give your reaction as well when you do call in. So let's get straight into Nuno's press conference.
10:30 p.m. tonight. Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question and remain on mute otherwise, and no live tweeting in the broadcast section, please. So we will start with Michael Bridge from Sky.
Hi Nuno.
Hello.
The 4 players flown back from South America, is that the hope that they will be part of your squad on Sunday?
Yeah, they are traveling now. They will join us tomorrow, and then we'll see. The reports that we have that
Can you guys hear it in the chat?
they finished the games well.
I can't hear it.
Some of them play 90 minutes. Davidson, Sanchez no, but what we are expecting is them to join us, and then we'll see.
Newcastle Spurs is always a big game, but they've just had a big takeover. Will the players be aware of this? The big atmosphere, 52,000 fans behind the team.
Yeah, all the atmospheres in the Premier League, especially. No matter who you play against, there's always the fans behind the team. But of course, after what happened in Newcastle, we expect an atmosphere that is going to support them. At the same time, we have to ignore and focus on our tasks, and it's up to us to quiet the fans.
There's been quite a lot of talk about the takeover, a lot of controversy around it. Do you have an opinion on it? And of course, if it goes well for Newcastle, there'll be another challenger to those European places. What's your thoughts on the takeover?
I have enough things to think about, honestly.
Okay. Harry Kane, he didn't score for England on Wednesday, yet there seems to be an overreaction when Harry Kane doesn't score because he's got a fantastic record for England. Do you think there's an overreaction when he maybe doesn't play as well? What's your views on it? Did you feel that sometimes?
It's normal. And Harry is sure it's used to it, but we are relaxed. We know that Harry is much more than goals. What he does for the team, he's a fantastic football player, one of the best, and natural goals will come.
Thanks, Nuno.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Michael. Paul Belveston, PLP, please.
Hi, Nuno. Do you have any other... Oh, you've disappeared.
Sorry, just blowing his nose.
I've been suffering myself. I feel a great deal of sympathy here. Do you have any other injury updates? Any more players out? Any players coming back at all?
After the international break, there are always issues that happen. But we have problems, but I will not say that before the game.
How about the international break? I know you lost virtually all of your players, but the few that stayed with you, did you have any little successes? Are you noticing players who are doing things automatically, coming into your way of thinking? Were there any sort of breakthroughs, light bulb moments?
Yeah, we work really well. We work really well with a small group of players. We had the help of the young lads from the under-23s that give us a big hand to increase the numbers, and we work really well, really well.
I know it's by no means the biggest milestone a manager's looking at. But you passed 100 days in charge over the international break. I wondered how that first 100 days as compared to what you were expecting when you came into the job. Has it been as enjoyable as you'd hoped and as challenging as you'd expected?
When I joined, I didn't know what to expect, so I live day by day. What I can say to you is it's been hard 100 days with good moments, bad moments, but it's part of the job.
Yes, Newcastle.
Thanks, Paul. George Cummings, please.
Have you enjoyed the 100 days so far, Nuno? Because you've had a lot of problems.
Like I said before, George, I had very happy days. I didn't have so many happy days sometimes, but this is life, this is football, this is what we have. Everybody has to be ready to it.
Can I just ask about Steve Bruce? He's on this 1,000 game this weekend. Just an appreciation of getting that far to 1,000 matches as a manager and your experiences of dealing with him in the past.
Yeah, I know Bruce I think we played against each other we were both in championship, so we go a long way back. I have huge respect. I know him, and it's to achieve 1,000 games is extraordinary. I have to congratulate him.
As a manager, he's under a lot of pressure at the moment. Have you got sympathy for how he feels? Or I don't know if that's the right word, but just explain how tough it is when your job's sort of hanging on the line like his is.
That's speculation. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. What I know is that we're going to play Newcastle and Steve is going to be on charge.
And just in terms of Newcastle and this takeover, are you worried that they're going to be big spenders come January, and that potentially is a threat to where you are in the European places and the places you're going for, that they're now effectively a super club?
I don't have any kind of comments on that. I have enough to think about.
Thank you. Good luck Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. And Jack Pitbrook, please.
Hi, Nuno. Are you happy that Lo Celso and Romero played all 3 games for Argentina this break?
During the international break, is always the situations happen. Some players play a lot of games. Some players don't even get 1 minute, and that is what causes disruption. Because after that, when you receive them, some of them come very happy because they achieve fantastic things like Hugo did. Some of those come really sad, like Reg and Brian. Some, like you said, with a lot of minutes on their legs. Some just go there, sleep and eat. It causes a lot of problems. But what's happening now is what we want is for them to return as soon as possible, like tomorrow. Some of them already join us, but it's always disruption.
In the case of Davinson Sanchez, who flew to Colombia to just sleep and eat and didn't play for the national team, does that mean he'll be in a better or a worse situation for the weekend's game?
On a different situation. Not better, not worse. Different.
Okay. Thank you, Nuno.
Thanks, Jack. And last one in this section, Jonathan Veal, please.
Hi, Nuno. I was wondering if you could give us an update on Steven Bergwijn's fitness. He's obviously been out for a while.
Yeah, he joined us yesterday. He's totally integrated with the group. Trained well yesterday, trained well today. No pain. So he's about getting back to his highest levels of fitness. But he's on the process of it.
Is the Newcastle game too early?
We don't know because, like I said, first of all, we have to be everybody together. Then we'll assess and prepare and decide.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Johnny. We will end the broadcast section there, so we'll go on to the embargo section.
All right.
All right.
So Sanchez enjoying his holiday out in Colombia this international week,
Yeah.
this international break, sleeping and eating, as they say. He seemed quite annoyed, more annoyed with the fact that, Sanchez has gone all the way there.
Mm-hmm.
He's even on the Friday, he's been part of the squad, and now he has to quarantine. Or I know he can still play, but he still has to quarantine in Spurs Lodge for 10 days, and he didn't play a minute. So what's the whole point?
At the end of the day, the fact of the matter is you've got to take 20 plus players on an international break, and not all of them are going to play.
Usually they all get some sort of minutes, don't
Not,
they?
no, I don't think so. I mean, there's many cases where players go out on international break and don't play a single minute. I'm sure there's plenty
A
of
player
cases.
who's like Sanchez, who's for Colombia, you know what I mean? Who in the summer had a great period for Colombia, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And now he's not getting any minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the reality of the situation. I mean, I don't think Nuno should be annoyed that he hasn't played any minutes there.
I think he's annoyed by the situation that he's having to have disruption to not play any minutes.
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's better for us that he hadn't played any minutes.
I don't know. I think sometimes to play some games keeps the rhythm going a bit.
Yeah,
to have
that's
a
also
proper
true. That's
two-
also
two-week
true.
break.
But imagine he did play and then he got injured or something. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather him go there and probably maybe play one game out of the 3 is probably ideal. But it's better to Davinson Sanchez to go there and play no games than Romero and Lo Celso to go there and play 3 full games.
Yeah, I guess. But at least, he was talking about how some players, they go there and, for example, like Lloris and Romero and Lo Celso, they go and they play really well and they come back in very confident mood. And whereas Sanchez, he can go and not play any minutes and just go and eat and sleep, he says, and then all of a sudden they can change their mood and mentality, and they're a bit more unhappy about situations just because they haven't been playing on international duty. It can affect
Yeah,
them.
well, to be honest, his mentality, maybe not mentality, but his feelings like that should have changed before he even went on international break, because he had a couple of poor performances before he went, and we were already talking about him like coming out the team already, only 6 games into the season.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. What can we do?
All right.
Anything else that was said in the press conference that you want to react to?
Well, I'm happy Stevie B's back.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm really happy. I mean, if anyone's been watching our FIFA career mode, you just know Stevie B's an absolute baller, and he's going to be scoring this weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if he's hopefully he'll be available to play some minutes, because I think he can be very valuable for us. His hard work and his pace, and he was having a decent time of it before getting injured. I thought he was playing quite well. So he's a bit unlucky, and so I don't know whether he's going to take any part, but I'm glad he's back to full fit and getting back to full fitness. When he talks about Harry Kane, which I think is not it's normal, but it's interesting when he says, Kane brings more to the team than goals, and that's true. I think people overlook that a lot of the time with Harry Kane. They're just seeing him not scoring, and they're assuming that he's doing nothing else, which I don't think is true all the time.
Maybe not all the time, but so far this season, I think it's been more the case than not, to be honest.
Yeah, potentially. And, well, yeah, yes and no, I would say.
Why yes and why no?
Because I don't think he's just been doing nothing.
For the most part, I think.
I don't agree with that.
Why not?
I just don't agree. I think he's been trying.
I mean, the best he's done in the Premier League is a few good passes. That's about it.
Whatever, I don't know. He hasn't got any goals, but I don't think and he's not been playing well, but like a lot of the team a lot of the time. But I don't think Kane is just about him scoring and putting the ball in the back of the net. I think whenever he's on the pitch, he's always a threat. And he's always part of when the team are moving forward and we're setting up attacks and stuff, he's usually a big part of that when we're looking dangerous. I just think...
I don't know if that's been the case. I really don't agree that's been the case this season. I think that maybe he's always a threat because he is Harry Kane and we all know what he can bring when he's on song or even when he's not on song. But this season, we haven't seen that yet. And I don't think he has been too much of a threat this season as of yet, especially in the Premier League anyway.
All right, fine.
Let's talk about what Nuno said about this potential problems in the squad. Like, what is he alluding to? Because the only player I know that had any problems during international break was Matt Doherty. Surely he's not just talking about Matt Doherty.
It could be. And then it could be talking about maybe some of the South American players. I don't know. I'm not sure who he's talking about. Hopefully it is just Doherty, as bad as that sounds. But I don't want any other players coming up, big players coming up with injuries who we desperately need, who could be big problems. So I'm hoping that he's not referring to anyone else. Maybe someone else who didn't go on international duty came up with problems. I don't know. I don't know. I hope not.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But now I want to hear what you guys have to say. And let's start off with Ribsy. How's it going, Ribsy? I can't hear him.
Can't hear him. Can you? Are you on mute on your side, mate?
How we going?
There we go.
That's better.
There we
That's
go.
better.
Oh, all right.
How you going, Ribsy? You good?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I'm about done with this international break, though. Can we get back to proper football?
It's lucky you're about done with it because it's about done with you as well. So the international, the Premier League is just around the corner. Kicks off tomorrow, and obviously Spurs play on Sunday.
Yep.
What are your thoughts coming into this game?
Oh man, I mean, what can you think? I mean, it's Newcastle in general has been pretty freaking bad over the last few seasons. So, normally we think this would be, at least a draw and a probable win, right? But they're going to have a lot more fans, a lot of people who are pretty, pretty confident coming into this, even though, the team hasn't changed and the manager hasn't changed, but they're going to have a little injection of energy. So, I'm not sure. We got the opposite,
you say,
right?
you say that it should be 3 points, but last season we drew to them twice. Season before we lost to them.
It's true. It's true.
And now they've got the kind of lift with the fans back in the stadium with the takeover. Everyone's going to be, passionate up there on Sunday. So, what are you expecting?
Man, the same thing I would have told you the last 3 times we faced them. It should be 3 points. The team is, and I don't want to be rude about it, but we're a better team. I don't care how we're managed. I don't care who's owning our club. We're a better team on the field, and it's embarrassing that we've dropped as many points as we have against them over the last few, the times we've faced them. So. Nothing changes, but in reality, as you're saying, we do drop points when we go there, when we face them, and they've got extra incentive to be better now because they're all fighting for their jobs a bit now. So,
and we've seen what can happen when Tottenham get out of 14 games this season, haven't we? And are we at risk of that happening again on Sunday if we don't take extra, concentration on this game?
I think, that's what you're saying. It's a risk, right? And maybe that works in our favor a little bit because maybe we go in there with a bit of an expectation that this should be, a bit of flat track. But now maybe they'll take it a bit more seriously. Who knows? We should get 3 points. I know the evidence doesn't really work in our favor, but we should.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, most definitely right. We if the game was played on paper and solely paper, we would be getting 3 points this weekend. That's for sure. What about the South American quartet? How do you think Nuno's going to deal with them? And do you think any of them are going to play this weekend?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because, they're not going to get any time training, presumably. Yeah. I'd love to play some of them, but it's going to be. It just all depends on how well they can communicate, whether they're going to be ready to do it, and whether they're just, I know, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you want them to play, but you also don't want to play players that have no business being on the field if they're tired or whatever. So, and
can we
against a
afford
team
not to
like
play
this,
them? Can we do like do we have people in place in your opinion? If without Lo Celso we got maybe Ndombele, without Romero maybe Rodon or Dyer comes in, without Emerson, Tanganga plays at right back. So do we have the cover, or do you think like Romero is that good he has to play under any circumstance?
No, I don't. We absolutely we have the team to beat Newcastle without those 4 players. But will they? I don't think so. I'm not even entirely sure that we will with the 4 players, because it's just impossible to predict what we're going to do. And it's it sounds like I'm just being completely vague and defeatist about it, but it's impossible to know what we're going to do, what kind of Tottenham's going to turn up on the day, because there seems to be a whole bunch of different teams that are the same players that just either want to show up or don't want to show up on the day, and whether that's management or whether that's fight or experience or heart or any other thing, it's just, how can we, I mean obviously this is fun, we can all talk about it and try and work out what's going to happen, but at the end of the day none of us have any idea, because
it's so true. It's so true. You just don't know which Tottenham are going to turn up. You really don't. Do you think it's better or worse for us that Steve Bruce is taking charge in this game?
Probably worse. I mean, he's now playing for, it's a job interview for any potential League One teams he's going to manage in the future. So he's probably going to put a decent effort in and light a fire under his players, because he's going to be telling them that it's not just his job on the line, it's all of their jobs, which is true. It's not just Steve Bruce that's out the door. It's 90% of their players, because they're, with the kind of money and the system that they're going to put in place, they got no time for, the literal garbage that they have in that team.
Mm-hmm. How quickly do you reckon they can attract top talent? Or does ultimately money always talk?
City was like a mid-table team, right? And it took them 5 seasons to really become, or was it less? I don't know.
It was like 2 or 3 years, I think it was. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So it's going to take longer for Newcastle, presumably, to actually turn that into like a top 6 sort of team. Top half is a different thing. I know people are talking about them wanting to buy Kane. It's a funny one, because you can actually imagine that setup actually paying the money that we want if we're going to let him go, right? Mm-hmm. But you just can't imagine that he would have any interest in going there, because he'd be the guy that's turning that into the kind of place that the other players would actually want to go and play at, where he's going to be like, it's just going to be coming right at around the time when he's sort of, giving it up. Yeah. So I can't imagine that he would do that, but who knows? Who knows?
What do you think Nuno's going to go with on Sunday? What lineup?
I think Stevie B's back now.
You think he'll play straight back in the starting lineup?
Why not? I mean, Nuno was talking in that interview you were just showing up on the screen. He was pretty confident. He's back in the team. He's integrated. I mean, why wouldn't you play him? He was pretty good before he went out.
So who does he start in place of then?
Oh, man, I don't even know. I mean, I don't want to see Ali on the field. I'm dum with Delhi this year. He's not going to play. I mean, Winks has played 60 minutes of football in the whole season, so he's presumably not going to be there.
Yeah.
Lo Celso, he's coming back from overseas, and we were playing him as like on the right wing, completely out of position. I don't know what's going to go on. Man, I don't know what to tell you. It's in place of who.
Tell me we're going to win. Just tell me we're going to win.
We should get 3 points. I mean,
I don't want should. I don't want should. I want definites. I want definites. I want to know we're getting 3 points on Sunday.
I wish I could stand here and tell you this is going to be the lineup, and this is the.
Well, can you sit there and tell me
we're going to play?
least?
And this is. Yeah, well, I mean, I sit better than I stand, as you can probably tell by the look of me. But no, in answer to your question, I don't know who he's replacing. I don't know where he's playing. I don't give a shit if we play him at number 9. I mean, it's obviously. I mean, like, you know, in the time that we've been talking on this, you know, and I've been part of this community. Obviously, anyone who knows me knows that I love Harry Kane, and I really hope that he wants to be part of our team and our structure and everything into the future. But I mean, at the moment, and against a team like Newcastle, we should be able to put someone who's like a winger at number 9, and we should be able to just do it. We shouldn't need the top end of our team to deal with this fucking garbage, but we do. So I don't know what to tell you.
Tell me what your score prediction is.
I think we will struggle a 2-1.
Exactly the same as my prediction. So Ribsy, love your prediction. Thank you for coming on today, my friend. And we shall see you soon. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
That was the great Ribsy, everyone. Let's keep going. Who have we got? It's the great down. Yes, Cody. How's it going, man?
It's going good. How are you guys doing?
You need to get a guitar and strum that into your intro when you come in.
Exactly. Get that guitar from behind you. Let's get the electric one out, actually. Come on.
Look, are you guys? I just want to wonder. Are you guys feeling the heat from your FIFA? Career mode. I see Ben Simeone out is trending on Twitter. The THST the THST want to meet with the board to discuss the plan. You know, like.
Have you not seen how we revived Steven Bergwijn's career?
Oh, I saw you guys crash out of the cup to Preston North End. That's what I saw.
Let's talk about that. I blame the simulator.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Preston. That's too soon. Still
exactly. I still haven't gotten over Colchester yet, so I'm definitely not getting over Preston.
Look, I just before we start talking about Newcastle, I do want to say I watched some of Jack Konecki has started his own Twitch channel, Flat Cap Euro Talk, and he was doing some career mode last night, and there's a lot of hype starting to build up between the Irish Hotspur and Jack Konecki versus the brothers of WeAreTottenhamTV, and I am just licking my lips because Jack was fire last night, like he seems like a mild-mannered man, but he is definitely capable of putting a controller through a television screen, if you know what I mean.
Who's your money on?
Oh, yeah, you can't. We'll save the predictions for the end of the conversation, obviously.
Fair enough. But big game this weekend, especially with West Ham and Man United round the corner. How confident are you going into this one?
Honestly, it's a bit of a coin toss for me. I hate to say it. Obviously, as a Spurs fan, like Ribsy was saying, on paper we should be able to go in there and take 3 points easily. But when you take into account our recent track record there, and also just all of the extenuating circumstances that are going on with the Newcastle takeover and everything like that, I mean, it's probably going to be one of the most hostile environments that we've had to deal with for quite some time. So. I think the game plan. I hate to say that we should be sitting back and just kind of weathering the storm, but I would expect Newcastle to come out flying, with the adrenaline pumping and everything. So for me, it's about getting off to a solid start defensively, working our way into the game after that first 20 minutes, because I really see them, coming out with high energy and taking their shot early. So. But like you think about the game that we played against them in April, I mean, we were making John Joe Shelby look like prime Luka Modric, like he was just having his way in the midfield, and we haven't really done much to address the issues in the midfield aside from inserting a young Oliver Skip who's doing quite well. But yeah, I think it'll be, bear the brunt of the storm early and then work our way into the game after that.
How much? Because obviously we all know the fans are going to be up for it, but with the announcement today that Steve Bruce is staying on for the game, at least for this game, we don't know anything further than that. He doesn't seem to know anything further than that. But what impact do you think it'll have on him and maybe the players? The whole talk about what's been going on at Newcastle. Do you think it'll make them up for it, or do you think maybe maybe add some anxiety into the squad that they might not be here? What do you think? What kind of impact will it have on them?
They're gonna get the not fired yet manager bounce,
I think it's just called the playing Tottenham bounce.
Is that better
at this point?
Is that better than the my manager's just gone to prison bounce? I'm not sure.
I would say it has to be much better. So we should be worried, very worried. But look, it's so funny because like we seem to just be getting caught with these circumstances, especially like leading up after the last international break. We had Palace away, a team that doesn't have to worry about any of their players going off on international duty except for Wilf Zaha. And now we've got this Newcastle team who are going to have this weird like Saudi public investment fund bounce, and the thing is like, as much as we have several players who are internationals, and I love the fact that we have them, like some of our international players aren't exactly like top players either, like it doesn't seem to translate in the Premier League for us. And
don't do Matt Doherty dirty like that, man.
Yeah, will they, like some of these players, will they even be available? Like Lo Celso played 94 minutes last night. Romero played the entire game.
Well, technically this morning, Cody.
Exactly. So like I don't see any of the only one from the South American contingent that I could see starting is Davinson Sanchez because he didn't play yesterday. But I wouldn't be opposed to starting Romero or Lo Celso. But I think in a perfect world, Tanguy starts, and if he's putting up a stinker, then you haul him off at halftime and get Gio in there. But
yeah, I mean, how important is getting 3 points in this game with West Ham and Manchester United just around the corner, and with these kind of injury problems that we're getting, or players not being able to play? And Nuno alluded in his press conference today, we've got even more issues that we don't know about even just yet.
Well, three points is always important. It doesn't really matter who we're playing, and especially having, coming out of a stretch here where we've lost 3 of our last 4 games. And as you said, looking ahead, 2 tough matches coming up against West Ham and Manchester United. The thing is, it just depends. It's all about expectations as Spurs fans. Like going into the season, given what we did in the summertime, my expectations were we would finish somewhere in and around where we finished last season. Now, after we started with 9 points from 9, even though we weren't playing the best of football, it was easy, as Tottenham fans usually do, to get carried away and say, well, now top 4 is on, blah, blah, blah. And now we've looked absolutely dreadful up until the Villa game. So, I mean, in terms of like expectations, if we want to have an outside chance of finishing in a European spot like Europa or Champions League, these are the kind of games that we absolutely need to take 3 points. We have to take care of the teams that we know that we're better than. We saw this last year where we really struggled to beat teams that were above us in the table. It was really rare last year, and even going into the year before that. So when you come across, even when you take into account all of the other circumstances that have been discussed at length, you have to win this game. If you lose this game, all of a sudden the whole Nuno out noise really starts to get loud, and it's hard to see if we can't go into St. James Park and take care of business, how we do so against better sides like West Ham and Man United. So in terms of like reversing the negative momentum that was going on before the international break, like Aston Villa was more about stopping the bleeding. This is about building. If we can go in there and win convincingly, I think it would be a big stepping stone for us to put us in the conversation, at least for a solid top 6 finish again. But yeah, it's just going to be one of those seasons where we're kind of like week to week changing what we think we can get out of it, because it's just a transition season, right?
I think
half
by half
season, Cody.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Is there anyone, except obviously you got, like, say, Maximam for Newcastle, but is there anyone you look at Newcastle and you think, we got to stop that guy, otherwise we're in trouble?
Yes, we have to stop John Joe Shelby. I keep saying this guy looked like Zinedine Zidane back in April. He was just free to run rampant in the midfield and lob balls into the box into dangerous positions. They drew us 2-2. They didn't have Callum Wilson. They didn't have Alan St. Maximin. And like they completely, like as we've seen for the better part of 2 seasons now, we were completely overrun in midfield. So that has to be the focal point. If we can, it sounds so pathetic that we have to stop John Joe Shelby, but we have to stop John Joe Shelby because if we lose the midfield battle, it just puts so much pressure on our back line. And I'm not sure that our back line, we're going to be able to put our best foot forward in terms of the players who are going to be available. And if we do put our best players who are available, it's possible that they might be fatigued and be prone to make mental mistakes. So, yeah, I mean, we need to start winning the midfield battle in all of these games. I just don't know if we have the personnel there to do so.
But talking of the personnel, what's the lineup you expect Nuno to go with this weekend?
I think, I've written it down here, I think Lloris in net, Reguilon, Dyer, Sanchez, Tanganga. Skip, Højbjerg in the double pivot, Son, Tanguy playing in the number 10 again, Lucas on the right, and Kane up top.
Okay.
All right.
So you said Emerson right back?
No, I said Tanganga.
Oh, Tanganga right back. Yeah. I think that's pretty spot on, to be fair. And just before we let you go, Cody, what is your score prediction? This is for the FIFA game, by the way, between us and David.
For the FIFA game? Oh boy! See, this is tough, because David Harris, he's got a knack for working the refs. He's always in the ears of the refs and everything. I think it'll be a competitive game, but oh man, I think Jack and David are gonna nick it 2-1.
Cody, after
we're gonna prove you wrong. Do
you want a post-match fan show after the FIFA game? How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, hey, it's a big game for the legacy of Ben Simeone. You know what I mean? Like we got just like the real Tottenham, you guys got to stop the bleeding and quiet the rumors a little bit, quell the storm.
All right, what's your prediction for the game this weekend?
I think what I'm never gonna predict a Tottenham loss because it's just not in my nature. I know that it's some people say, oh, you should be honest about the state of the team and everything like that. But this is a game that we have to win. I'm not gonna put it in my mind that we can lose this game. I think this is the game where Harry Kane finally gets his season underway. I think he shows up and he shows up in a big way and silences his critics. And let's hope that if he does kind of break the dam, that the floodgates start to open and the goals start rolling in with regularity, like we're so used to seeing. Everybody is kind of calling into question whether or not Kane will ever be the same player again. This is, and everybody's saying oh, we should have sold him in the summer. We should have taken the 75 plus add-ons. Well, I'd hindsight where he's had this rough stretch for a couple of months. That's really easy to say, but you're talking about someone who's coming off the Golden Boot and the Playmaker Award. That's something that hasn't happened very often in the Premier League. So to suggest that suddenly, because Harry Kane, whether it's because England made that deep run in the Euros and eventually lost, or because he tried to force a move to Man City and he was unsuccessful, to say that suddenly this guy is now, his career is over. I think it's a little bit ridiculous. I can understand being an emotional fan and wanting, players to represent the badge with pride and everything. And Kane's body language, it's clear that he's not exactly a happy camper, but let's hope that he can just open his account this weekend and reverse some of the criticism and get the ball rolling in the right direction. But I think 3-1 to Spurs. I think Nuno will have a good game plan going in. I think like I said, we'll weather the storm. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, but we should be able to finally put 3 goals past a team this season in the Premier League.
All right, Cody. I hope you're right, my friend. Great to chat to you as always, and we'll see you soon.
All right, glory,
man.
And I think he makes a good point, Cody, when he talks about Kane, when he talks about the English players, because England go far in the Euros. Because a lot of the English players, I mean, Grealish recently started to come into form, but apart from that, like, if you go through that starting 11 that played a lot of the Euros, I know he chopped and changed a bit, but none of them have really had a great start to the season, have they?
Yeah, I think Maguire's injured now, but I think he's had a fairly good start to the season.
Yeah. Say Maguire, I guess.
Maguire, who was alongside Maguire at the Euros? John Stones, he hasn't played a minute.
Really, yeah.
That's ridiculous, by the way. John Stones hasn't played a minute. Who was left back? Luke Shaw hasn't had the greatest of starts. He hasn't been bad, has he?
He just got injured, but yeah, it hasn't been that great.
Right back, Reece James was on the bench, wasn't he, for England most part?
Reece James, Trippier. I don't know how Trippier's been for Atletico, but you know, you got
Reece James had a fine start to the season, hasn't he?
Not as good as he was last year, I didn't think. Trent has been a lot better.
Declan Rice has a good start to the season.
Rice has been good.
Calvin Phillips, but Leeds have just been not that great as a team.
Mount, I don't think, has been particularly good.
No, Mount hasn't had a good start to the season.
Foden's been good recently, but before that, it took him a while to get into it.
Yeah.
You know, Sterling's been nowhere. Sancho's been nowhere.
Yeah.
Saka hasn't been particularly good the start
apart
of the
from
season.
against bloody Spurs.
Apart from against us. So, like, I don't know, there has been a bit of a trend, hasn't there? Not just Kane.
There has been a trend, but look, we're going to have to see how it plays out. But, you know, these same fans that are being like, oh, we should have sold him for 75 million, would be the same fans that if we did sell him for 75 million and he was banging in goals for Man City, would be like, oh, why did we sell him and all that. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you're not.
There's a funny thing someone just sent me. Credit to Liam Martin on Facebook. He sent me this. So I don't know, can you go to our on my connection rendezvous? Can you full screen it? Can you show the full screen? Is that possible? Because I want to search. I want to show you. So I want to search a word on Google and show you what it comes out with. It doesn't show you everything. Basically, he was trying to come out, look for the definition to show his friend on Google. What definition of lackadaisical? So he searches it up on Google. I don't know why it's come up. He searches it up on Google.
Yeah, I've seen this.
And what comes up is dictionary, lackadaisical, lack of enthusiasm and determination, careless, lazy. And it says, an example, a lackadaisical defence left Spurs adrift in the second half. Spurs is literally the definition of lackadaisical, according to Google, which I thought was pretty hilarious. So there you have it. If you go to Google, anyone can do this. You type in lackadaisical, that's what comes up. Tottenham with a lackadaisical defence. Anyone can do it. It's brilliant. So there you go.
Well, there's also one for dodgy as well, apparently.
Is it to come up with that as well?
Yeah, Spurs' dodgy defence had thrown away a 2-0 lead.
Let's type in dodgy. Type in dodgy. Yeah, there you go. Spurs' dodgy defence had thrown away a 2-goal lead. Google has it out for us, I think. Literally. Google has it in for Tottenham.
I think the guy who's writing these definitions are Arsenal fan for sure.
Well, he actually might be a Spurs fan because, you know what I mean, he probably knows Tottenham better than most.
True. Got a super chat here from the almighty Spurs fan saying, you guys should host N17 Live. # Enoch out. Well,
look, we're hosting our own show. We don't need N17 Live.
Exactly. But we've got some more callers waiting to come on. Let's go to Abdul Karim. Long time no see, Abdul. Yes, Abdul. How's it going, my friend?
It's going good. Is my camera quality good? Because on my phone it looks a little bit weird on me.
That's all good.
Yeah, it's just a portrait instead of landscape. It's all right.
Oh, okay. No worries. And do you hear echo? Because I hear it on my...
No.
Sounds fine here. Sounds fine.
Whatever. As long as it sounds fine on your guys' end, I'm straight.
All good, Abdul. All good. How are you feeling about this weekend, Abdul? You know, we're playing the now cash-rich, very buoyant Newcastle side who, you know, their fans have sold out for the first time in a long time. Before the international break, you're thinking, you know, okay, we've got Newcastle next. It's a chance to build ahead of steam. But now, do you feel like they're going to be a totally different animal to what you expected before?
I totally understand why, like, obviously Newcastle fans, they're all going to be extremely excited for what the future will hold for them. But, you know, I kind of do agree with what Cody Max said in the previous call. Newcastle will come up with, they will be, you know, motivated in the beginning of the match, so they will be on the attack on us. I think it's up to Tottenham just to kind of remain calm, which is like totally the opposite of what Tottenham does. When you ask them to remain calm, they're usually the opposite of that. So... So like it's up to Tottenham just to kind of remain level-headed and just like Because at the end of the day, listen, Newcastle, they will be good in the future, most likely. You know, imagine if they don't come and spend any money, but whatever. But like, they will be good in the future. But right now, they are still the same Newcastle squad. They are the same Newcastle squad that we should be beating, 3-0. So it will be very excited, and especially the fact that pretty much everybody's going to be watching this game, even though it is the same Newcastle team. All rival fans are going to be watching as if, the Saudi owners coming in first day is going to make a difference. At the end of the day, we're still coming up against the same players on the pitch. So I am still, very excited and confident going into this game. Some of our players are, I'm not really that sure as to who's going to be on the team. So just waiting for the starting 11 will be quite big scenery. Obviously, there's a lot of players. Christian Romero is looking like we have a good center back on our hands. Seriously, like as soon as every time Christian Romero plays for Argentina, like I can't remember like the last time these boys like conceded a goal. Like these guys are constantly keeping clean sheets. And sorry about the background noise. That
right.
I got the word.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I am excited for the game coming up. So that's pretty much it. Like it's the same team, so I don't think I'm not gonna be too worried about them today. Maybe next year I am, but not today.
But Abdul, you say it's the same team, and you're right, it is. But this is the same team where we couldn't beat last year, 2-2 and 1-2. Albeit the game at the Tottenham Stadium really should have been 3 points in our back pocket, that's for sure. The year before that, we did get a win, but we also lost to them as well. So they do seem to be a bit of a bogey team for us. And now with like the buoyant mood that this club is going to be in, full stadium, fans are going to be in full voice. It's going to be an intense atmosphere. The players are going to be playing for their future. Is there not that little inkling of worry at all going into this game?
Yeah, like there is a slight worry going into like these teams that sort of seem to get like a good result against. Like for example, it's a team like West Brom. West Bromwich Albion always seems to kind of like they have a pretty good like record against us, like the recent like 5 or 10 games, whatever. But it doesn't really change the fact that I am still confident going into these games, and maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe it's just I guess it's a slight bit of arrogance, but I know Newcastle does seem to be our bogey team. Obviously, last year I remember them scoring like in the last minute. I think Eric Dyer got a handball like in the first game of our season, and I think in the second game of our season, I think Willock scored at the end of the game to they do somehow get a good result against us, but. I mean, listen, man, as a fan, if you're not confident going up against a Newcastle, then, I mean, you really don't have any business competing for the European spots, honestly. So we just have to go in there and hope that Harry Kane breaks his goal drought, because he's not going to go the entire season without, notching a single Premier League goal. And I feel like he needs to kind of get the ball rolling, because clearly, scoring hat tricks and scoring these goals against these teams in the Conference League is not really doing the trick. It's not really giving him the confidence and the bounce that we all thought it would going into the Premier League game. So we're going to need him to kind of step up and put in some Premier League numbers on the board. So maybe one day we can get a penalty. He can probably notch in that penalty, and that can kind of boost up his confidence. But we need to find a way to kind of start getting some numbers on the board, because we pretty much have like the worst offense in the league. Like pretty much, what are we last in least amount of distance covered?
We're last in everything apart from league position.
Much, we're pretty much, you can honestly say that we have like the worst offense in this league, and that's not down to the players. It's not. I'm not saying that it's also down to Nuno specifically, because it doesn't matter what tactics you put on the pitch if your players are not really motivated, and if they're not trying to do the tactics to the best of their ability, it's not going to work out. You can give us Pep Guardiola, and if the players are not motivated, then it's not going to work out. So it kind of goes on both hands. So it's down to the Nuno, and it's also down to the players. So, but we got to go in there with a positive mindset, pick up these 3 points, and start getting the ball rolling. Because listen, man, our aspirations this year may not be top 4. Because obviously top 4 seems like it's pretty far ahead, but I mean, you gotta start getting some wins and see how the season ends up. With Man United having a tough schedule coming up, these are the types of games which Tottenham has to kind of pick up on and and profit off of. So I'm excited for the game. I'm always excited when Tottenham are playing. So let's just go in there with a positive mindset. Let's just play our game and just remain level-headed.
And even without the players who you said you're not sure if they're going to play, or the South American players, first of all, do you think as of today, do you think Nuno knows if they're going to be available? And also, does it matter in terms of how confident you are in getting a result, whether they're playing or not?
I think the South American players, they are becoming a big part of our team, specifically like our right side of our defense, where you have like the Emerson and Christian Romero. It seems like Emerson is going to be like the starting right back going forward. He is starting to kind of pick up more pace, and we're kind of starting to see why we paid whatever, like the 25 mil for him.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of Christian Romero, I think it's money well spent. Whatever we pay, like 45 or 50 mil, he looks like the real deal, and he's a young player, and we got to start, building some cohesion around the back. I don't really like this. One game, we're playing Dyer and Sanchez, and the next game we're playing, Dyer and Romero, and then what's going to be the next game? If the South American players are not here, it's going to be like Tanganga at right back and Rodan and Dyer. It's too much chop and changing. I feel like when it comes to the back line, chemistry is a massive part of it, and you need like for example, the goal that we conceded against Aston Villa, when Christian Romero kind of made that slight mistake and he slide tackled and he kind of left his spot open. If him and Dyer had like a good understanding, Dyer would have been able to kind of, come into his position, kind of protect Romero for that slight moment for him to get back on defense and kind of clear the ball. But I feel like they're not as sharp together. So, that there's a slight bit of miscommunication. And I just want the South American players and, the proper back four, because I don't think even Nuno even knows his best back line. I don't think.
What do you think the best back line is?
The thing, I don't even know, because I know for sure I want Emerson Royale to be our right back and Christian Romero and Sergio Reguilon, but it's that last center back. It's like you can go to like 10 different Spurs fans, and it's like 5 of them would have different. Some would say Joe Rodon, some would say Eric Dyer, some would probably even say Jaffe Tanganga. So it's, and obviously some would say Davinson Sanchez. So I'm not really that sure, but it's time for Nuno to kind of stamp down his authority and say, this is my back line going forward, and and this is the way that we're gonna go. So even if they make a mistake one game, you gotta keep going with them and keep giving them game time, and sooner or later they'll build up some cohesion. Well, at least until we get another center back, because I still think the board is going to be looking for another center back to pair up with Romero. So either way, I still think like another center back. I don't know, maybe like a Pau Torres, or he may be too expensive, or he may not want to come. But you know what I mean, like another center back, a left-sided center back, like I don't know, like a Sven Botman or whatever, right?
Would you take John Stones? He's not getting any minutes at Man City at the moment.
100%. I would.
Do you think he would come to us?
I don't know about that. I don't know if he'll come to us, but I guess it's worth a try. Like I'm not sure. Like I'm not sure about John Stones, to be honest. Like I know Raheem Sterling doesn't want to come, and I see Raheem Sterling wanting to go to like a Madrid, like a big team, but like a John Stones, I think he's happy, playing in the Premier League. And if he goes to like a team that's like kind of guaranteed to stay in the Premier League, I feel like that's okay for him. Like I don't see John Stones wanting to like, take that next step, or I don't even think if there is a next step when you're Man City, but like like the sideways step to like a Madrid or Barca. I think a Tottenham is perfect for him. So I would take it John Stones, and there's a lot of center backs that I would take, but I'm not sure whether Dyer or Sanchez is the right one to pair up with Romero. I don't know if they're like the future choice, but I guess we'll just see, and we'll see.
All right. I think me personally, I think that our strongest back line is Emerson, Romero, Dyer, Reguilon. I think that's probably our strongest back line in my opinion. And even if Dyer does do a few mishaps, I completely agree with you. I think we need to persist with it. We need to grow a bit of cohesion in our back line. Just before we let you go, Abdul, what is your score prediction?
I'm gonna say 2-0. 2-0 to Tottenham. Yeah.
Harry Kane back on the score sheet?
Yeah, penalty. I'm gonna say Harry Kane finally
All
gets his goal. He
right.
gives a penalty, and Gilman's son scores another one. Yeah.
All right.
Nice one.
Big up, Abdul. Good to speak to you again, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Cheers, Abdul.
For sure.
Come
man.
on, you
Take care,
Spurs.
man.
Big up, Abdul. I don't think there's anyone else. Oh, there is. There is. Sorry, Path. I can see you there. Let's bring him on. Path, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank
Do
you.
you mind
Good,
moving
thank
your
you.
camera a bit down, or like? So
Yeah. Oh, 1 second. Is it fine?
Oh yeah, I know you don't want to show the color of your T-shirt. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Sorry. Just.
How are you?
all right,
Everything
Path?
good?
Yeah.
How are you feeling coming into the game this weekend? We're going to do it. We're going to take 3 points home.
Hopefully, because if we do get 3 points, we also have to remember that we just, I guess, 1 point like behind the first place. I guess one
Yeah.
1 point of the top. Yeah. So hopefully.
Is that it? 1 point off top with a win?
Is that right?
Nah, it can't be
Yeah,
right.
I think so. Yeah, 100%.
Not 4 points off top, are we?
Yeah.
I'm just going to do a
with the game.
VAR check right now. Let's see.
Now, well, it is only 7 games in, so I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
But look, what do you think? Or what do you think about
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're full point. Okay, well, the title challenge is still strong then, Parfait. What do you think about though our chances? With Newcastle being buoyed with their new takeover and players fighting for their future. What do you think? Do you think our chances have decreased of getting a win after that?
Yeah, first of all, yeah, I do think our chances have decreased. And second of all, as you had said, so apart from Steve Bruce, I think it's going to be a test for every player to show that they're worthy of being part of their Newcastle's new project. Like every player would want to be a part of their new project, the money, the chance to win trophies. So I think Newcastle will come out firing on all cylinders, I think.
Yeah, and do you think it's going to be a very intense atmosphere with the fan base obviously all back on side now at Newcastle? Now they've got Mike Ashley out. The fans are in a very buoyant mood at Newcastle. And how much of a factor do you think that's going to play in the game this weekend?
I think, as I said, St. James's Park will be absolutely buzzing because I think this will be the most happiest moment for a Newcastle fan 15 to 20 years. I remember, actually, I'm going to tell you a story. There's a Newcastle fan in my school, so I remember trolling him a lot 3 or 4 years ago about Steve Bruce and all of that stuff. Now I hope I don't see him again.
Did he give you a good troll when we couldn't beat him last year as well?
I don't know, mate. I blocked him.
Great stuff. When you're looking at this Argentinian, South American quartet that are just arriving back very late, only played today, pretty much this morning, early hours of this morning. Do you expect them to play on the weekend?
I don't know, to be honest. And I just want to mention another point. Romero was absolutely brilliant today for Peru, Argentina. If you watch the game versus Peru, and especially that shithousery that he did during the penalty. Yeah, so I don't know what happens, but whenever Sir Romero plays for Argentina, he turns into a different animal.
And Lo Celso as well.
Yeah, and Lo Celso. Actually, the thing is that Lo Celso is actually played in the right position, apart from Nuno, who likes to play with 10 defensive midfielders and 20 attacking midfielders. So that's a big difference. He plays in a box-to-box role in Argentina, and here he plays as a forward. So it's a big difference.
Yeah, the thing is, I think you're completely right on Lo Celso. He needs to be played in his proper position. He needs to be playing in the position he plays in for Argentina in our team. That's for sure. I mean, how many? You can probably count on 2 hands how many times he's played in his actual position for Tottenham.
Yeah, and another thing
I mean?
Another thing I've got to. Sorry, sir. Yeah.
No, go on. Carry on what you're going to say.
Yeah, another thing I've noticed is I think Nuno used a 3-4-1-2 or a 3-4-3. Was I genuinely think that Emerson Royal can be a really good third centre back. I just don't know why, but I really think that because I remember seeing him play at Barcelona the day we were linked to him a lot, and he was really good defensively. He's 6 foot tall and he's absolutely rapid. So maybe we can do that if we need to. We've obviously got Tanganga who can play as a third centre back. So
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, would you like to see us move to a 3 at the back system?
I mean, I know, to be honest, I generally do not know, but like players like Sessegnon and Steven Bergwijn even can benefit from that formation, in my opinion. Or like
Yeah.
even Giovanni Lo Celso, who like at Wolves, I think Nuno played kind of a 3-4-1-2 with a specific number 10, so maybe Giovanni Lo Celso can benefit.
Okay, that's really interesting. What is your prediction for the game this weekend? What's the scoreline prediction?
3-1 Spurs.
Come on, who's going to score?
Yeah. Harry Kane penalty. I, I just don't know why I have a feeling that Newcastle
Why
will
is
like
everyone's so
somehow.
convinced we're getting a penalty this weekend?
I know, but I am just convinced that Newcastle will score an own goal. I don't know why, and one for Sonny.
All right, absolutely love that. Path, thank you so
Love it,
much for
Path.
coming on, my friend, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, come on, you
Path.
Spurs.
Come on. Big up, Path. Now we've got the enemy in the building, our FIFA nemesis. Jack Konecki. Come on, let's bring him on. Jack, how you doing, man?
I swear I didn't ask Cody to do it. I didn't ask him.
Well, it's been bestowed upon you now, and that's it. You're an enemy to us now. That's just how it goes.
You know, it's going to happen eventually, guys. You know, we're eventually going to have to play, and someone will have the bragging rights, and we'll just carry it. And I know David's quite petty as well, so I wouldn't let him win, by the way.
How's your career mode going at the moment compared to ours?
I mean, I only was
what
able
level are
to
you playing on?
get through that summer, you know, all the summer training and whatnot. Honestly, it was quite dull, so I had to kind of smash a few cans and, you know, just get through it. And I've only really played one game, lost to City 2-1, so not to the best of starts like you guys, but doing it. I'm trying it on the hardest difficulty, but I will tell you, FIFA really cut it out this time to me.
Yeah, I mean, we did the first game on Legendary. We lost 5-2, so I think you're doing a bit better than us.
Well, again, like I think you guys are well ahead, you know, at the moment in yours, and it's looking great. I also thank you for taking the Ben Simeone name. You know, it's brilliant. And all
Yeah, I
would
love
say
this
is you
as
guys
I
need
heard
to
it.
rock the full black suit, you know, the full black suit, you know, to go with it. That's how you do the Ben Simeone look.
Definitely. But coming into this game this weekend, are we going to be going up there to spoil the party?
I certainly hope so, but of course, like it's just only in our nature that we just are handed this sort of, you know, scenario where, you know, Newcastle fans all of a sudden are, you know, behind the club the first time, you know, practically a sold out stadium and forever, you know, and it's against us. It's just so Spursy in that regard.
So Spursy.
We never get it. We never get it easy. We never have it the easy way.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
Hopefully we will. And to be honest, like I really agree with everybody and I'll just echo the same thing. At the end of the day, even though these Newcastle players will have a whole lot more behind them in terms of the fan base and whatnot, at the same time, it's still the same, you know, core of players, which is not
we
very
can't
good.
beat.
Yeah, and we should be able to beat them, even if we are missing a few of our South Americans and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, they are the same players, but you don't feel like they have more to fight for, like for themselves. I feel like maybe a lot of them been sleepwalking in their Newcastle careers, and maybe with this news and with, you know, they're going to fight tooth and nail to be part of this project, whereas before they knew like 17th was pretty much where they expected, and they could walk, they can go through the paces in games before, and maybe they can't do that anymore.
It's a really good point. I mean, a lot of people have said it's right. Yeah, like a job trial, or, you know, like a new manager comes into the building and, you know, everybody's, you know, kind of has a clean slate to prove themselves. And to a degree, you know, players like potentially John Joe Shelby, you know, I would say Kieran Clark, you know, maybe even Fabian Scher, Lascelles, you know, I'm not sure about Matt Ritchie and whatnot, but yeah, a lot of those guys to a degree, you know, they have the opportunity to potentially, you know, win over the new establishment. The new corporation or whatever you would call it that's taken over. And to a degree, I feel like some of them, like Miguel Almiron and maybe Alan St. Maximin, will probably keep their place regardless. But yeah, there are a lot of players that to a degree have a lot to prove. And yeah, they kind of have been sleepwalking. That's a great term. And Steve Bruce is, you know, definitely, you know, the catalyst for that. He's almost a sleepwalking manager himself. This might even be his last match as well. So
I think most definitely will be his last match, to be honest.
Yeah. And so
do you think it's a good thing he's still in charge for us, or is it negative, do you think?
It's tough because if it's his last match, I mean, how would he go about it? Would he want to spoil the party, you know, himself, you know, out of being stubborn, or would he want to, you know, maybe just try to win over the Newcastle fans, even though they all despise him? You know, this could be maybe he could have a final hurrah, like kind of a good last match. And again, of course, it's against us that this is the case. And I think you guys even mentioned it was his 1,000th game or something like that.
And it's a big moment for him. It's a big moment. Not many managers get to 1,000 games in the Premier League.
Well, did you see what happened on Wenger's 1,000th game? They lost 6-0 to Chelsea.
But that's just, again, it just really speaks to just the worst luck in the world that we always continue to have. I mean, I would just say, I'll take it all over again, but it is just so ridiculous that we find ourselves in these scenarios when I would say no other team would.
Back on the point that you guys were talking about before, in terms of, these players have been sleepwalking and maybe they're going to kind of raise their game to fit into the new project and stuff. But I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking that might not actually be the case, because for me, the project doesn't really start until this new manager comes in. And I don't think, I think whilst
That's
Bruce
the point,
is...
though.
Huh?
That's the point.
Bruce is still there, though.
I know, but they want to prove not just to Bruce, it's the board they're playing in.
I think this new bounce comes when the new manager comes in, when they try and prove it to the manager, because ultimately the decision is going to lie with the manager if they stay or not.
That's actually quite fair, and to a degree, maybe a bit of tactical insight on Bruce as well. I mean, the guy is known as being the most low block, kind of defensively minded manager in almost the last 4 or 5 seasons. And, I think even as well, like, if you looked at like Newcastle, I saw something on Tifo about it where like Newcastle's like heat map or something is like the lowest, any team. They even set up lower than Sheffield United would, when they were in the Premier League. And Steve Bruce, all he knows is just treading above water. That's all he knows, is just keeping his head above water. Will he do that in this match? I think to a degree you might argue that's all he does know, and he probably will continue to set them up in that 4-1-4-1 or that 5-3-2 shape or something that's very, very negative. And maybe the players will be running around a bit more, because of the energy from the fans. But it's also a very good point to maybe say, as you're probably alluding to, Ben, that at the same time it's a manager that's probably not very progressive, not very inventive, and the players still have to rely on the instructions of the manager. And if he sets them out wrong and gives them the wrong instructions against us, then we can still easily take this in kind of a tactical sense.
And in terms of the players being available or not available, who do you expect to see on Sunday? Who do you expect any of the South American lot to be in this involved at all, or on the bench, or starting? What's your take on the situation?
I really would like to see Royale play again. I thought he was absolutely immense, but I don't really see it happening. And maybe Romero, as everybody's saying, is the one we all definitely want to see. The guy who's just been absolutely incredible, majestic, you might say. And maybe to a degree, it doesn't make a lot of sense that they can make such a 48-hour turnaround. But I don't know, it's maybe the price they pay, to a degree for, being held out this long during these international breaks. And I would say we at least see one of them. I would like to have seen Gio as well, because, Tanguy, as much as I kind of am a bit of a Tanguy stan, I want Gio to get his fair shout and get his fair playing time. And, we probably might see him just coming off the bench or something like that. And it's really tough. Maybe Romero. I think Romero would be the one that we would probably be most likely seeing, but the rest of them probably might just be on the bench. And to a degree, I'm kind of disappointed in that, because some of them are really riding on good form, and it just keeps getting chopped up and broken up by these international breaks, and just hurts their momentum, I really feel like.
I got a super chat here from Stephen Blouse, and he says, money aside for the future, Newcastle are serious relegation candidates this season. Don't forget that. If they do go down this season, that'll be funny, won't it? I'll love that so much. I'll laugh so hard.
The richest club in the championship, as people have probably said before, and it would be, I don't know, that seems hard to believe, especially if they get a new manager in right away. And like you guys were alluding to earlier, once they get that new manager in, there would be that new manager bounce. And Newcastle, are kind of, it's like that, especially Steve Bruce, it's like that guy that just overstays his welcome in the party, and they just always somehow find a way to stay up, no matter how much they usually are the worst team in the Premier League at times. They still find a way to stay up. If this
they have suffered 2 relegations in the last decade.
Glorious. Say that again.
They have suffered 2 relegations in the last decade, to be fair.
Yeah. But I think under the Steve Bruce, establishment, he's been able to tread them above water, as maybe I said earlier. And
have we beaten a Newcastle Steve Bruce side yet?
Yeah, under Jose Mourinho we did.
Oh, that went in his first win at St James's Park.
But at the same time, they grabbed a lot of late goals against us also recently, and that's kind of concerns me. Where we haven't been able to kind of close matches out against them as well, which is just a huge concern, because that still kind of carries through, I think, from the Jose era kind of into this era as well. We kind of do sometimes seem a bit nerve-wracking towards the end.
And also, Jack, you know, the stats were coming out this week. Spurs currently rock bottom of the running stats in the Premier League, but not only rock bottom, like we are so far away from not even 19th. It's actually quite concerning. And if that trend carries on this weekend, with Spurs maybe not putting in the hard yards on the pitch, can you see us being maybe outfought again on the weekend? Is that a big possibility, do you think?
It's tough because you're spot on, because even Steve Bruce with Alan St. Maximin, like I was checking the stats between St. Maximin and Sonny. The guy has created like triple, the chances that even Sonny has, and Sonny's our biggest chance creator at the moment. Mm-hmm. It's very, very, very scary to look at it that way. Then again, I'd like to think that Nuno has just been quite unlucky. I've been kind of critical of him in the past, but I'd like to think he's also been quite unlucky with these international breaks, with not having a full squad, being able to get the message to all the same players. And I don't know. This is again, maybe another situation, and he hasn't done well away from home yet this season either. And this would be a good test for him again, because he did get that win at home. Wasn't maybe the most convincing, despite how well I thought we played. And to a degree, though, you might say that we should have been burying a lot more of those chances. And I thought there were a lot of kind of one-on-ones, and to a degree even sitters, especially in Gio's case from last game, and we just don't put them away. So maybe he's a bit unlucky that we haven't had like a 2-0 or 3-0 yet, but at the same time, the stats to a degree don't lie when it comes to our chances created and whatnot. We really do struggle at, developing play and just giving us the opportunities to win the match. We kind of just rely on that moment of brilliance from Sonny, Lucas, I guess in the past there's Stevie B as well. It's hard to come by any of these chances, and I think it says a lot about Nuno's tactics. But at the same time, it's I'm just going to try to remain optimistic that he has the defense kind of all tied up to a degree. We've been good defensively at times and then awful at times. It's just it's impossible to know. It's been so inconsistent, and I know that's the worst answer in the world.
All right, Jack, big yourself up. Before we let you go, what is your score prediction?
Probably between me and you guys, probably 4-0 to David and I, and then and then in the Spurs,
no chance.
For Spurs, I think a 2-1 would make most sense, but I'm going to just go for something like a 2-0. But I will tell you, Alan St. Maximin has been ridiculous this season, and I think it's kind of to a degree. He used to be kind of similar to a Traore, where he just could skin any player in the league, and then he just kind of struggled at maybe putting in that final ball or that final chance. But he's changed that this season. I mean, the guy is their biggest creator, maybe their best goal scorer this season. I'm terrified of him. I really am, and I think he could tear apart anybody. I don't maybe think if Romero were to play, that probably would help us out a lot. But I mean, Alan St. Maximin running at Eric Dyer will just be terrifying me, and I would like to say 2-1 then.
All right, Jack, same prediction as me, so spot on. Let's hope it is this weekend. Let's bring home the 3 points. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see you on the FIFA pitch.
We'll see you guys soon. But come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Come on. Big up, Jack. Always great to chat to him.
And Danimal Yanandez, the super chat, says, I'm worried about Newcastle, bigger club trophy-wise and with oil money. I feel like we're more at risk for the future. Thoughts? Well, trophy-wise, Newcastle aren't bigger than Spurs trophy-wise. No chance. Everyone, people like to clown on Spurs for trophies because it's not because we don't have a good history with trophies. It's because recently we haven't won.
We've definitely got more recent history than Newcastle, that's for sure.
Newcastle haven't won a trophy, let alone
like the 1920s or something.
No, it's like 50s, I believe. They haven't won a trophy.
All right, there you go.
They haven't won a trophy. No, Tottenham haven't won a league since the 60s, but we have won trophies since then. Newcastle literally haven't won a trophy since the 50s, right?
Yeah, pretty much. 54, they won the FA Cup.
54, there you go. And also, when it comes to trophies overall, like Tottenham,
they've actually been league champions more than us.
How many times?
4.
4 times. Okay.
They've been league champions 4 times. They've been FA Cup winners 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and that's it. That's all they've won.
Well, we've won more. And any European trophies?
Yeah, they won the Intertoto Cup in 2006.
Did they?
Apparently so.
2006? Does that count?
The Intertoto Cup is nothing, though. It doesn't even count.
Well, look, we've won more trophies than them overall. Spurs, like, we've won more trophies than a lot of teams overall. I think we're like in the standings of like overall trophies. I think we're in like the top 7. I think we're like 7th overall in England. So it's not like people act like we've never won a trophy. You know what I mean? Like we have a good history for trophies just for the past 20 years.
I'm just looking into this Intertoto Cup in 2006. Apparently there were 8 shared winners.
8 shared winners. 8. Yeah. 1 of 8. That's ridiculous. Oh, come on. That doesn't count.
How nuts is that?
That doesn't count. Spurs 72 with the Super Chat says, the fact that we're all expecting a win worries me. Tottenham disappoint with the best of them. They'll get us Spurs fans up and only crash. It's true. Whenever everyone says we're going to win, it usually...
I know. And like, I'm trying not to think of that because everyone's coming on here and being like, yeah, this is a game we should definitely win. And yeah, it is a game we should definitely win. But the way they're like talking down Newcastle is a bit, doesn't really sit right with me too much, seeing as we can hardly beat them. The last 4 times we played them, we've only beaten them once.
Yep. But yeah, I just think that I think Newcastle really will up their game. I really think they will.
They always give us a hard run. Always. Let's be honest. So, look, we're going to have to see how it plays out. But I think that is the end of the pre-match fan show for you guys. Predicted lineup and match preview coming your way tomorrow. And then it's the game on Sunday. The running order is David Harris's pre-match pump-up at 3 o'clock. Then it is the live watch-along with me and Sim. Post-match fan show again with me and Sim. And yeah, looking forward to it Sunday. Let's hope for 3 points. Have a good weekend, everyone. We'll see you on Sunday. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.